In Waltham, Massachusetts, a developer seeking to build a 3-family home would first need to acquire a 6,000-square-foot lot. If she purchases a lot in one of Waltham's multifamily zones, her project is exempt from the lengthy and contentious public review introduced in the previous 2 chapters. The process is considerably different in Waltham's northern neighbor, Lexington. First, the developer would need to purchase a plot of land more than 2.5 times as large as she would in Waltham, 15,500 square feet. Moreover, regardless of where her plot is located, her proposed development would require a special permit and would consequently necessitate public review, potentially over the course of multiple meetings. Indeed, all multifamily developments in Lexington, from townhouses to large apartment complexes, require a special permit. These differences reflect broader variations between Lexington and Waltham's land use institutions. Overall, Waltham has 17 different types of regulations on housing development, compared with Lexington's 34. Housing regulations are based on the Pioneer Institute for Public Policy Research and Rappaport Institute for Greater Boston database, discussed as follows. These regulations affect the construction of new housing in 2 separate ways. First, they outright prohibit certain forms of development. Second, any form of housing requiring a special permit or variance, a one-time exception from existing regulations, has to go through a lengthy hearing process. The provision of special permits and variances offers municipal officials and residents substantial control over what is constructed, and opportunities to modify developers' plans to fit town and neighborhood preferences. Because zoning and planning board meetings feature public input, these applications for special permits and variances provide the public with a substantial voice in the housing construction process. Towns with more regulations require more special permits or variances for housing development. Each additional regulation creates opportunities for town authorities to deny permits or variances, and chances for neighbors to voice opposition or make additional requests for information, studies, and project changes. Chapters 4 and 6 feature neighborhood defenders citing regulations regarding issues like parking and wetlands as reasons to either outright deny a development or, at a minimum, require further study prior to approval. Lexington's 34 housing regulations appear to be limiting the construction of multifamily housing. In relatively unregulated Waltham, 65% of permitted units between 2000 and 2015 were for multifamily housing, and 35% were for single-family homes. Over the same period, 94% of the permitted units in Lexington were for single-family homes, and only 6% were for units in multifamily buildings. In this chapter, we build on the argument developed in Chapter 2 using data on town building regulations and housing permits.